it's time for What is Japan saying about Today we'll actually be looking at what YoshiP said and did at this year's Mahjong tournament. We'll be looking at compilations of the events and the Q&A session from Umadori, as well as my own comments from watching the stream live. Before we begin, if you'd like to see more of this type of video, please do leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And now without further ado, let's get started. So for this year's tournament, we have 3 guests. They are Shinosuke Tachibana, Alphino's voice actor, Yasumi Matsuno, the Final Fantasy Tactics director, and Yosuke Saito of Nier fame. From the dev team, we have Naoki Yoshida, Hiroshi Takai, Nobuaki Komoto, Masaki Nakagawa, and Yosuke Hayashi. Our commentators this year include Toshio Murouchi, also known as Marble, Tatsuya Hiyoshi, who is a pro Mahjong player and an official commentator for the M League, and Yamada Fumiyoshi, a Mahjong 101 tourney commentator. Yamada Fumiyoshi is also someone who does a lot of Mahjong related things in 14 as well. So these 8 players were split into 2 tables. Our first table A was Tachibana, Saito, Takai, and Nakagawa, and B table would be Matsuno, Yoshida, Komoto, and Hayashi. As I'm sure many people here probably don't know how to play Mahjong, if you'd like to learn, there will be a link up in the corner for a card where there's a video that I've made to explain Mahjong, but we'll keep the highlights to a minimum since this was quite literally just a regular Mahjong tournament. During the A table, we had Alphino quite soundly winning by getting a Baimon in South 4 to pull out a win. It's just a very strong hand, with people calling him Sasufino, or I suppose if we put it in English, Amazefinod. We had, as a result, Saito-san was in last place, resulting in him and his very funny, unlucky shirt to have to perform a karaoke punishment for us. He sang Manatsu no Kajitsu by Southern All-Stars, which you can take a look at the livestream archive to hear him perform. At the B table, though, Komoto is an absolute menace, repeatedly taking points from YoshiP, earning him the nickname Hades Komoto. And in the end, YoshiP not only loses, but goes negative, resulting in the game ending a few rounds early. As a result, he performs Get Wild by TM Network, and viewers also voted on an encore with a 93% for yes. So he performs a duet with Hiroshi, the song this time being Mei o Tojite Oideyo by Barbie Boys, which I suppose this was a FF16 collab of sorts. During these games, I was personally entertained by the 14 analogies. Explain Mahjong, but if I was a 14 player. We had Dora being explained as equal to a buff, Hon, Chi, Lichi being weapon skills or roll actions, Honba, which is when you repeat a round if you are the dealer, being essentially like a limit break, East being the first form phase, or perhaps a door boss, and South being the second form phase. And one other small little thing was the project manager M being very silly in the pinned messages, I guess they would say. You can get Mahjong with a bonus adventure in our free trial. But moving on, they then had a bottom 4 table and a winner's table. The bottom 4 table, YoshiP takes another hit right off the bat. He must really want to sing for a 3rd time tonight. But in the end, YoshiP lands a very strong hand to take 4k points from everybody and doesn't lose at this table. At the winner's table, Mr. Ozma is playing quite well. However, we have some good hands from Tachibana-san and Hades Komoto, whose nameplate, by the way, disappears at one point and comes back replaced with a nameplate that says Hades Komoto. And in the last round, Tachibana-san pulls away with a win, once again Amazefinod. As a result, Nakagawa, or Mr. Ozma, performs the Batsu, the punishment, for ending in last place. And this time it is Anime Janai from Gundam ZZ as punishment. Following that, there were 2 exhibition matches, one with each of the 2 pro players that were commentating. Our first one was Hiyoshi. He pretty much soundly wins his table, completely eliminating any of the other players in the way. The exhibition match 2 included YoshiP at the table, who hilariously wins on his first hand with a very strong hand, Mangan, for 12,000 points, wins off of Yamada at the end and puts his points over 40,000. Somehow YoshiP wins his table with the pro player. Our final ranking for the Mahjong tournament is in 8th place, Hayashi-san, 7th place is YoshiP, 6th place is Takai-san, 5th place is Saito-san, 4th is Nakagawa-san, 3rd is Matsuno-san, 2nd is Komoto, and 1st place is Tachibana. As last place punishment, Hayashi performed Moonlight Densetsu. Yes, the Sailor Moon theme song, including a lovely Sailor Moon pose for us. And we get a lovely shot of YoshiP looking very happy to not have to sing another song during the camera work for this performance. As a result of winning the tournament, Tachibana wins quite a lot of variety of meets, as well as 2 tickets to Tokyo Disney Resort. Following this, there was a premium-only Q&A session of the live stream, as not only was I needing to sleep, but also it was premium only. I only can access the regular part of the stream. So we're going to take a look at what Umadori wrote down from the event. They only recorded the questions that were related to the game itself. None of the like, oh, what did you eat today? Oh, what did you think of the game? Any of those sorts of general questions. So there were 3 questions that were brought up that are related to the game in a way. Our first question here, I guess these are more statements. They're saying, I would like a tournament mode for Domen Mahjong. They responded saying this is actually one of the highest things on our update list for Domen Mahjong. There hasn't been much time to work on it, but I think it will be added soon. With an extra comment saying that 7.2 will have a lot of new content. The second question was, I'd like another FF16 collab. I really want Joshua's outfit. And they responded, since the last collab was before the PC release, we stuck to things in the early portion of the game. The next one will include things a bit further into the story, and there's a lot of character outfits that we can include. We're considering making it a thing you can do whenever you'd like as well. And lastly, they asked, please make Domen Shogi. And their response here was, we'd like to add other tabletop games that many people can enjoy. Since we're still planning, I can't say for certain if Shogi would be included. I really want to add card games, but it would cause issues with the game's rating. It's such a shame. I think it would make 14 amazing. And to that last question, we also see a compilation from reactions to this from Japanese player base and their ideas for possible tabletop games. Well, first we have just saying tabletop games would be really nice. Second, we have maybe Daifugo, also known as Tycoon in English. For those that have played Persona 5 Royal, that is the card game that's in Persona 5 Royal. Someone said, like Momotetsu, which is a shortening of Momotaro Dentetsu, a very long board game style video game, similar to Monopoly. I don't think I want to experience Momotetsu personally. The next person is saying, if you want worldwide appeal, chess would be good. Someone's saying, I think Othello would be good time-wise length. Time-wise for length, the game length. But the next person saying, I think Othello would be good length time-wise. Someone's saying, card games would be amazing. Next person saying, maybe Sugoroku. Sugoroku in this case, apparently having 2 variations. The Ban Sugoroku is likely the one they're referring to, which is similar to backgammon. But there is a variation called E Sugoroku, which is similar to Snakes and Ladders. Someone requesting Queen's Blood, please. Which I believe I've heard members of my static also ask after playing the 7 remakes. And someone suggesting, what about Domon Katan? So I'd be really curious, what kinds of board games would you think? Both which ones do you think might be interesting for Western players, as well as what kind of games do you think might have a more worldwide appeal? As, let's be real, Mahjong, Lichi Mahjong, while there are a lot of players that have enjoyed it, and I'm sure that a lot of players have learned Mahjong for the sake of getting achievements in 14, it is quite niche. And of course, it was a kind of pet project, I believe it was mentioned. It was a pet project by one of the dev teams, so it's understandable that perhaps it was a bit niche. But in the future, they'd probably want to consider more universal or widely known games. I think the idea of chess is probably a solid one, even though I personally don't know chess. It is a shame about the card games, but I'm sure there are issues with Europe, as we can see by the recent Balatro fiasco. I think if they're aware of that, they will be very cautious about adding card games or even card game adjacent games to 14, which I completely understand, even though I also would agree it's kind of stupid. And I do think there would be a lot of people happy with the idea of Queen's Blood, but on the other side, we do have Triple Triad already. Do we really want to add another card collecting thing? I don't know. Maybe if they reuse the Triple Triad cards? I don't know. Othello, I do like the idea of Othello personally. I think that that's another good one that would be pretty easy to have many people know how to play. Anyway, that's what happened during the 2015 Dev Mahjong tournament. I've included sources linked in the description, including the live stream link if you'd like to watch the entire tournament yourself. The stream is of course only in Japanese, and I'm not entirely sure how long the archive will be available, so please take a look if you'd like to as soon as possible. If you are new to Mahjong, make sure to check the link to the video in the card where you can see my Mahjong 101 video to get yourself up to speed. And also, I live stream on both YouTube and Twitch every day except for Mondays, doing various things in 14, including Ultimates, Criterion, Mahjong, and more, including a lot of yapping and talking. And I would love to see you there. And with that, I will see you next time. Oyasumimi, bye bye!